let's look at how you can transform colors in SwiftUI. Color transformation in SwiftUI allows you to change the chroma of views by specifying a certain amount. So you can use color transforms to, for example, apply contrast, brightness, color invert, and more to change the hue of SwiftUI views. So in this video, we will look at the overview of color transforms in SwiftUI and also illustrate each with a usage example. I have combined all the examples you see here in this GitHub repo. I have the link in the description of the video. So you come to this repo and open the folder SwiftUI color transforms. So I have all these Swift files for all the examples I'll show in this video. So you can come here and grab each of these files and test them yourself. Let's begin with brightness. You can use the brightness modifier to brighten the intensity of a view by specifying a certain amount between 0.0 and 1.0. When you specify brightness as 0, there wouldn't be any effect, like the example you see here. So with the image on the left, we have the original color. The example you see here demonstrates duplicated images with a purple background and also with brightness that increases from 0 to 1, that is 100%, and with an increment of 0.2 as you see here. As you have noticed from the preview, the application of brightness has changed the color from full purple, that is at 0%, and as we move to the right, you have noticed here, it has changed to a complete white when we have the brightness as 1 or 100%. So this is all about brightness. Let's go to the next, that is contrast. Contrast can be applied to separate similar color values with a specified intensity. Applying a negative intensity value will invert the colors, as you see here. With the image on the left, the contrast is minus 0.2, so the image is having an inverted color. Similar to the previous example, with this example, we have series of series images ranging from minus 0.2 or minus 20% to 1.0, that is 100%, at an increment of 0.2. So on the left, the image has a natural gray color, and as we proceed towards the right, the intensity of the color increases. At 100%, you have noticed it creates full bright gradient colors with a bright purple background. Next, we have color invert. You can use the color invert modifier to change a base color to its complementary form. For example, if you apply this modifier to a yellow color, it will be inverted to blue. If you apply it to a black color, that will be changed to white. So with the series gradient image in its normal state, we have a pink background. And once we apply the color invert modifier to the image in its normal state, we have the color on the right. You have noticed it inverts the pink background color of the series icon to its complementary version. So in this example, we have a teal or a greenish background color. In the next example, I'll show you color multiply. With color multiply, you need to specify the color you want to add to a base color. So in this example, over here, you have noticed we have added the color multiply modifier and specify the color to be multiplied with as cyan. So all that this modifier does is it allows you to specify a color as a multiplication of the colors in a view. So the example we have here applies the cyan color to the series gradient image. So with the image on the right, you have noticed the cyan color overrides the color at the normal state. Next, we have saturation. The saturation modifier can be used to increase the intensity of a color or decrease it. That is called desaturation. So like the previous examples, we apply the saturation modifier to the images with saturation values ranging from 0.0 up to 1.0, that is 100%, with 0.2 increments or 20% increments. So you have noticed at 0%, we have desaturated the image, and as we move towards the right, we get a brighter color. Next, we have grayscale. You can use the grayscale modifier to reduce the intensity of a color to result in a grayscale effect. So in this example, the grayscale effect also ranges from 0.0 to 1.0. The grayscale effect is opposite of saturation. With the saturation example, when the saturation is at 100%, you have noticed we have a brighter color. However, with the grayscale example, when the saturation is nearly 100%, we have the grayscale effect. So the image becomes more colorful when the grayscale value is 0.0. So you have noticed here, we specify the grayscale effect just like the previous example. For the next example, we will look at hue rotation. You can use hue rotation to change the color values of a view at a specified angle in degrees or in radians. So by combining hue rotation with gradient, you can create a very beautiful gradient animations for backgrounds and symbol effects. So in this example, we apply the hue rotation modifier to the series images by shifting their colors from 0 up to 360 degrees. That is one complete revolution by 72 degrees. So the difference between each color is 72 degrees. The last color transform is luminance to alpha. When we apply this to a view, it creates a semi-transparent mask, making the regions of low luminance transparent. So in this example, we apply it to the series of rectangles. The solid black color becomes the area of low luminance. As you have noticed, that becomes more transparent. And as we move towards white, we get a higher luminance, and that makes the view opaque. So this is everything we have in this video. I showed you the various color transforms in SwiftUI. So you can get all the examples I showed in this video in this repository.